Yeah, so Bernie Sanders really widely publicized the Medicare for All, and Elizabeth Warren is in the headlines now because she finally released a plan for how she's going to pay for it.
Sure.
Right, and then she says it's going to cost significantly less than $52 trillion, but a lot of the news outlets and media
Sure.
are saying it's going to cost $52 trillion plus.
You sure it's not 52 million?
It's
I'm
not,
pretty.
it's 52 million.
It seems like a lot, Trent.
It's about the same, right?
Yeah,
I mean, if
okay.
you round it off.
Okay, well, keep going then.
Exactly. Saturday Night Live did a skit on it, and they're like, they're making fun of it, and they're like, this isn't real, anyways. Like, it's a quadrillion, drillion, bazillion, and all it is just a digital number in your bank account.
Well, that
They're
is another conversation point.
Right? They're like, we're going to pay for it with imaginary money,
Yeah.
which is funny but true, right?
Yeah, very funny.
So here's the
very
thing with
true.
Elizabeth Warren and the $52 trillion.
Does it have to do with the fact that she's Native American?
No, I don't think
Okay.
she said. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay. Go ahead. Sorry. man.
So what happened was she is really hanging her hat on no new taxes for the middle class.
Right.
Right. And she's saying that all the money that's going to the actual insurance companies now would no longer exist. And essentially, she's saying that no new taxes for the middle class, which is a lie. And I'll explain why in a minute. When I dug in, I found something called the head tax, which is really interesting. I'll come back to that, but she's saying the balance of it is employers that pay into like privatized insurance now would just pay into Medicare.
That's right.
Right. They'd pay into Medicare, so they would continue to do that. And so as she explains it, you make up the first bulk with some of that.
Right.
And then the government has a certain amount of spending that they do as well from
Right.
Medicare. But then the additional part, which is kind of undefined, is taken care of through one percenters,
Sure.
through the top tax. And
Have you been to her website? She just released
No.
a calculator because Bill Gates had put out a tweet about, I can't remember what exactly the tweet was, but he had said, I'm totally okay with, paying more because I shouldn't have $100-something billion. But, if you say, hey, I'm going to give you $10 billion, I go, okay, that's fine. But if you start saying, I'm going to take $100 billion of your money, then I start doing a calculation of how much I have left. And so she tweeted back out, she goes, there's a lot of billionaires that are really concerned about this. We've actually released a calculator, which I thought was pretty smart.
Right.
And now I'm not going to vote for Elizabeth Warren, and I'm probably not going to vote for Donald Trump either, but just to be fair, but I'm not going to vote.
Never paint yourself in a corner.
Yeah, I don't want to be like that. So I'm looking for like this other guy. I'm holding my hat on maybe this guy who I don't know anything about. But
Andrew
I really,
Dice Clay?
No, I like his name though. Butenegger, Buttigieg. I don't know. He's from, I think he was a mayor. Was he a mayor of South Bend, Indiana?
Right.
I'm doing that from memory. Is he really that?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know either.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know anything about him, but I really like the name, and I'm hoping he pulls through.
Let me tell you about this head tax. So what's going to be required under Warren's plan is that obviously the employers who pay for privatized insurance, they have to, essentially pay that into Medicare.
Okay.
Right. But right now, Medicare payments are coming out of people's wages.
Right.
At a percentage of their income.
Right.
The head tax, I think I'm saying that right. I think it's called a head tax. The head tax is a fixed rate that comes out additionally for every single employee. Now let's think about it. If I make $150,000 and I have this fixed rate,
Right.
and someone else makes $25,000 and they have the exact same fixed rate as a percentage of our income, who's
Sure.
paying more?
That's right.
Right. So it comes back to
A
that.
regressive tax rate.
Exactly right. So that's what is essentially happening. So no one's foolish enough, I hope, to listen to someone say, we're not going to raise your taxes.
Sure.
And think that they're not going to collect it indirectly from somewhere else.
It's going to come from somewhere.
Right.
Right.
So exactly. The taxes you pay on your W-2
Right.
income is going to be, you know what I mean?
Right.
That wasn't increased, but the taxes you pay somewhere else, or a hidden tax or something
Right.
like that, the money's going to come from somewhere.
And plus, it's easy to pivot. Like right now, especially you have Obamacare, you have Affordable Care Act. Of course, you're starting a new year of open enrollment. You have premiums going down. And so you've got that headline
Sure.
in with this thing that is scary. I think it's important that people start talking about it, but it's really, when people look at it and they'll go, because a lot of people don't like the Affordable Care Act either, but they go, well, premiums are going down. I mean, I could make an argument that I could overcharge you now and then reduce the price a little bit next year, but I'm still making more money than I did 3 years ago. But anyway, you look at it, the headlines don't look good versus something like a Medicare for All.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and on the head tax is another thing to think about. That only applies to employers who are ALEs, applicable large employers, 50 or more full-time employees.
Really?
Okay. So
So small employers don't matter.
small employers, they don't have to comply with that the head tax. Now, this is what I read. I
Okay.
don't know how true this is. So think about the employers trying to finagle their way out of that.
Mm-hmm.
And how many of them then employ employees as contractors versus
Right.
actual W-2 employees.
Right.
Because they won't have to pay the head tax on
Like
these.
staffing kind of companies
Yeah,
and
it
things
will,
like that.
because it will not apply to contractors. It only applies to employees.
Interesting.
Yes, yes. And so you don't have to provide the medical insurance, obviously, anymore.
Until they change that rule.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I think a lot of people are gun shy on this because it was the whole, like Obama said, if you like your health insurance, you keep your health
Sure.
insurance.
Yeah.
And so what I think is going to happen with Warren, let's just say she pulls it out. I think Trump's going to get reelected, but let's just say she's the nominee, she wins the election.
I don't think she will.
But if she does, I think it comes back to bite her because just like it did with Obamacare, Obama gave people a good resource, right?
Mhm.
He said, if you like your plan, you can keep your plan.
Right.
Now, I've seen the Obamacare plans. They're better than the insurance that existed prior to Obamacare.
Sure.
They're really good plans. So the plans that they were replaced with were really good.
Right.
However, they weren't their specific plans.
Right.
And he was butchered in the media over that.
Right.
You said we could keep our plan and we didn't keep our specific plan.
Right.
So if she says no increased tax on the middle class or whatever, she's got to be real
Sure.
careful what she says because it's going to come back. People use that against her. I mean, that's human nature. It's going to happen.
I really don't think she's going to get elected.